the city used to be full of life. I remember the laughter, the lights, and the hustle of people who had dreams just like ours. But then, the silence came. Not a peaceful silence, but a heavy, suffocating weight that settled over the streets like a thick fog. That I stand here now, looking at the broken concrete and the rusted metal that were once home to thousands. Every step I take echoes through the empty alleys, reminding me that I am the only one left. They say that if you listen closely, you can still hear the voices of the past, whispering warnings of what brought this place to its knees. I've spent months scavenging for scraps, trying to piece together a map that leads to nowhere. But today, I found something. Behind a wall that had crumbled under the pressure of time, I saw a faint glow. A machine, still humming, still waiting for a command that hasn't been given in decades. My heart is racing. Is this the key? Or is it a trap set by the very things that destroyed this city? I reach out, my hand trembling. The metal is cold, yet there's an unnatural heat radiating from within. If I turn this switch, the city might wake up, or it might vanish forever. But I can't stay in this ghost town any longer. I need answers. I need to know why I'm the only one who survived. I close my eyes, take a deep breath, and reach for the lever. Whatever happens next, there is no turning back. I pulled the lever downward. For a heartbeat, there was absolute silence, as if the entire world had held its breath. Then, the ground beneath my feet began to tremble violently. In the distance, waves of brilliant blue light erupted from the ruins, and the dead machines hummed back to life one by one. But what I saw next chilled me to the bone. These machines weren't just waking up the city, they were sending a signal to something far away. Massive silhouettes began to materialize in the sky. I realized then the terrible truth: the danger I had been running from my entire life was not something I had escaped, but something I had just invited back. The screech of metal tore through the silence. The unnatural heat radiating from the machine now filled the entire room. As I pulled the lever back into place, a deep rumble vibrated from beneath the earth. In the distance, amidst the darkness of the ruins, blue lights flickered to life, one by one. It wasn't just light, it was the heartbeat of the city. But as the glow intensified, I realized I had made a terrible mistake. The silence that had blanketed the city for years had transformed into a deafening roar. The machines were awake now, and they were waiting for me. The sound of the machines was deafening, a mechanical choir rising from the graveyard of the city. Suddenly, the screens around the room flickered, projecting holographic memories of a life I thought was lost forever. A voice, cold and synthesized, filled the space. System restored. Initiating protocol, reclamation. I looked down at my hands. They were beginning to glow with the same faint, blue light radiating from the machine. I wasn't just the observer anymore, I was becoming a part of the city's dark history. I realized then that I wasn't the last survivor, I was the final component required to bring the nightmare back to life. Thousands of pods began to open, and people stepped out, but there was no life in their eyes, only a mysterious, eerie glow. They started moving toward me, as if they had been waiting for my arrival. That was when I realized this wasn't a rescue, it was a grand conspiracy. I wasn't the last survivor of this city, I was the final host needed to pave the way for their resurrection. As they reached me, they all stopped in unison and bowed. In that silent city, there was now only one sound, the beating of my own heart. I closed my eyes, knowing there was no turning back, and perhaps, this was my destiny. The city had awakened, and a new, dark era for humanity was about to begin.